All right, hey everybody, it's David Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian. Today I want to talk about two different verses in the Bible that, from how I see it, they contradict each other. Uh, the Pauline epistles. I don't, nowhere in the Pauline epistles do I see Paul referencing the Gospels and what Jesus taught. Now maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm going to contrast these two verses. Well, it's actually multiple verses, but I'm going to contrast the difference between these two passages. The first passage is John 3:16 and 17. All right? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. It's a very famous passage, especially the first one, 16. But that sounds like we have the freedom to make a choice. Okay? You want to believe in Jesus? Well, no, I don't. Okay. You want to believe in Jesus? Yes, I do. All right. Now, okay, the first one, well, now you need to believe in Jesus. Now, Jesus, this will happen or that'll happen or this is why God brought me. So it isn't actually an okay because Christians will continue to try to push and push. But anyway, that sounds like freedom. I have the freedom to make a choice, which, free will. Now let's look at Romans 9, starting at verse 16 here. Well, at 15. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of him that sheweth mercy. For the Scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. All right. Now there's no freedom there. This is Calvinism. This is what Calvinism is. This is why they believe what they believe. And rightly so, because this is pretty much saying that God is going to make this one saved and he's going to screw that one. And according to Jesus, the majority is going to go into a lake of fire. So God created all of these people, so the majority of humanity go into a lake of fire. That's not a good God. I mean, just the fact that you have that lake of fire where it's going to be eternal. You live a finite life and it's eternal, means that this God is not good. Apparently he made he made sin, he created it, he made it that bad that he can go, it's that bad, I gotta just burn you forever. Now, even though your sin does take you to hell, but it's mainly because you did not believe in Jesus. Now, here they go. You didn't believe in Jesus because what it says here is God hardened you so you wouldn't believe in Jesus. Okay? And then he burns you forever, but you better not say, hey, why are you doing that? Because it says down here in 19, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? And in 21, has not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? Usually if a potter makes a vessel and it's to dishonor, it's because there's a flaw in it and he throws it away. Now, I don't think there's any potter out there that tries to torture his vessel for eternity or as long as he lives. It's not like you have a guy putting, I don't know, spiders inside of it and but yeah, this here contradicts John 3:16. John 3:16 sounds, kind of like this. God's like, come over here, okay? Not you're gonna come over here. In Romans, you and I don't want you. That's not a good God. That God is evil. This is not, and Christians, you Christians, and you're, well, just because the Bible says that, I'm going to go along with what the Bible says. And even if you don't like that, you're just going to have to go along with it because you don't want to go to hell. But here's the thing. Okay, what if you're a vessel fit for destruction and you believe that you're a Christian? Now there, God's just leading you along. So he's lying to you. He don't care about you. The vessel's fit for destruction. He doesn't give a damn about them. So how many of you people, you Christians out there that believe that you're Christians? Paul Washer said it. There's many people in here that ain't going to go to heaven because they're not Christians. Now, how does that, what kind of bullshit's that? That's not good. That's evil. Okay? I mean, I'm the type of person that you can't change people's minds where you can just, try to force them. You can give them advice, okay, or you can give them advice and then show how you live. You can say, this is what I do, and then you prove it. And you're hoping that they get their head out of their ass. Well, God is just, not even allowing that. There's no free will. There's just him controlling you. And Pharaoh, he raised Pharaoh up just for destruction. And here's the problem with that, though. I mean, just, maybe a caveat or whatever. I'm going to go on a rabbit trail here. The supposed Pharaoh during the time of the Exodus would probably have been Ramses II or Ramses the Great. And if I'm correct, Ramses the Great reigned for, 66 years? He died, in his 90 or a little over, he was a little older than 90? So, from what I'm learning about the Bible, the Exodus story in the Bible and history, it doesn't even coincide. It doesn't make sense. Because that Pharaoh lived a full life and died, I don't know if he died a natural death or whatever, but he was in his 90s. So that story, the Exodus story, seems to be just bullshit. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. The Bible, both Judaism and Christianity, are man-made religions. They are a way for man to have control. It's another form of government. It's another form of tyranny. Okay, because what they do is they use these little things like they use hell, they use the lake of fire, they use how bad you are and you should be ashamed of yourself to control you. So none of this, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe none of this. Especially. And if it's true, you're not serving, that God is not a good God. This God is just a self-centered, narcissistic, psychopath, megalomaniac that doesn't give a damn about anything but himself. Worship me. Give me worship. Well, if you're all powerful, why do you need us to worship you at all? But that's all it is. You bow down to me. Okay. If there's a wise person here on earth that's telling you, giving you wisdom, giving you knowledge, helping you to understand what the right way is, that person don't want you to worship him. And he's a finite being. That person wants you to learn the right way so you can have a better life and influence people in a more constructive way. Now, wouldn't that be a better God? I don't need your worship. I just want you to listen to me. I want you to follow the rules, and I want you to do it right. That's not the God of the Bible. Or maybe, I don't know, John 3:16 almost gives you an idea that this God here and that God, and then you look at the Jewish God, which is the same God apparently. It's like, okay, really? And Christians will say, well, Pharaoh hardened his heart first. Okay. But then at one point, Pharaoh was thinking, okay, I'm going to have to leave these children go. And then God hardened his heart just so he could go through all these plagues. Which, like I said, during the reign of Ramses II, which would have apparently been the Pharaoh, there was none of that. So, what I'll say to Christians is take your blinders off, okay? You can look to the right and you can look to the left, and you can figure shit out on your own. That's why I call this channel the Critical Thinking Christian, because when I took the blinders off and started critically thinking about this shit, I realized that it's bullshit. All right? So that's all I got for right now. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. But I'm going to, look into the Exodus more. I said that before, but I got a lot of work here, and I also got a couple more channels that I'm working on. So I will eventually come out with more information on the Exodus and how I don't see the Exodus as a truth. I see it as more of a foundational myth. It's a national foundational myth, what they say, and it's to keep the people in line. But, I'm going to come out with more of these videos because this Bible needs to be exposed as what it is. Just a man-made book, a man-made control mechanism to just keep the people in line. I have control and power over you. And I can use this God that I tell you to believe in. No. And fear, fear, tremble, tremble. Do what we tell you. So that's all I have for today. And until next time, I'm Dave Kramer, the Critical Thinking Christian.